Okay, so I did finish at least one book. I am going to try and finish The Sea of Monsters before today ends, or tomorrow really starts. But yeah, I finished Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. Look at all these tabs. It's like a rainbow parade. So many. I am very bad at discerning. I got so tired of highlighting that I did this. I got tired of it. Like, they were worth highlighting, but it doesn't change the fact that I got tired. Anyway, so I don't have as many thoughts written down because I've read this so many times, and the act of highlighting it means that I can just flip through and find the scene that I want to talk about, because I know this book pretty well by now. Anyway, so one of the things I forgot when reading this is just how sassy Percy is. He's like the king of sass. Like, as much as Harry has some great lines, Percy just, oh my goodness. Where is it? Give it one of the lines. He's so sassy with the gods. Like, oh, it's in a monologue. Like, when he sends the Medusa, oh yeah. So this is the one I was looking for. So, you know, when Ares sends Annabeth and Percy and Grover to go and get his precious shield, and they get caught in the trap in the tunnel of love, and Percy gets them out, and then like this camera's pointing at them because obviously Hephaestus set this all up and is filming it, and so it's like the statues had swiveled so that their cameras were trained straight on us, and the spotlights in our faces. Show's over, I yelled, "Thank you, good night." Brilliant. Also, the Percabeth is real. I know they're 12, and Annabeth still got that annoying crush on Luke, but the Percabeth is strong. Like, okay, let me find the thing. I need to talk about that scene in a sec. No. Yeah, here you go. Are you kidding? She looked at me as if I was just dropped from the moon. Her cheeks were bright red. What's the problem now? I demanded. Me go with you to the thrill ride of love? How embarrassing is that? What if someone saw me? Who's going to see you? But my face was burning now too. Leave it to a girls, make everything complicated. Fine, I told her. I'll do it myself. But when I started down the side of the pool, she followed me, muttering about how boys always mess things up. Oh, that's not even, okay? Like, oof. Like, even just Percy's little jealousy about Annabeth's, like, thing with Luke, it's already in here, and So, I don't know about you guys, but I love Percabeth, okay? It was just developed so beautifully in the series, and I cannot wait to get into it. Like, just so beautiful. And, okay, here's another one of my favorite Percy moments. So, he sends the head of Medusa to Mount Olympus with best wishes, Percy Jackson. And Grover's like, they're not going to like that, Grover warned. They'll think you're impertinent. And he's like, I am impertinent. And then Poseidon brings it home at the end of the book saying like, oh, that's probably part of my fault. You can't restrain the sea. Wait, let me find it. Ooh, end of the book. A faint smile played on his lips. Obedience does not come naturally to you, does it? No, sir. I must take some blame for that, I suppose. The sea does not like to be restrained. So sass is genetic, is it? Ooh. Anyway, so yes, Percy is awesome and sassy and such a bamf. Like, literally, he has like a week's training, I think. Maybe a bit longer, might have been 2 weeks. And yet he still manages to beat Ares, the god of war. Damn, son. Clarice is annoying. Can I just say, like, seriously? I get your father is the god of war, but can you stop with the bullying? Okay, it's tiresome. Ugh. And I know in the next book we have to deal with her more. And I know she improves, okay? When compared to her immortal brothers, she is fabulous. But it doesn't stop me from being annoyed with how she treats Percy. Like, I know they eventually come to, like, an understanding, but I don't think that's till, like, either the end of book 2 or later on. But right now, she's just annoying. And then Grover, my darling, I'm living for Grover in this book, because I remember when I was reading the third Trials of Apollo series book, The Burning Maze, and Grover came back, and you're just like, it's Grover! He's been the main character since this. And if you've only read The Heroes of Olympus, and I don't know why you'd only read that and not read this, but if you had, you wouldn't know how amazing Grover is. Like, in this, he's wonderful. Okay, he can talk to animals because he's a satyr. And I'm sorry, that's a quick way to my heart. If anyone can talk to animals, I don't care what kind, it could be a slug for all I care. They can talk to it. I'm going to automatically adore them, provided they don't use it for evil. And then so they end up in this truck, right? There's a scene, it's one of my favorites. They end up in this truck because Ares puts them on it because it will get them to LA. And there is an emaciated lion along with an antelope and a zebra, and the people in it are just like absolutely horrible. Like, they gave turnips to the lion and meat to the antelope and the zebra. So Percy thankfully swapped them and got them some more food. But I was just like, are you kidding me? Sons of... And that's when Percy realizes he can talk to horses. And zebras are equine animals, so they're close enough to horses so he can understand it. And he's, like, confused for a moment because, obviously Grover can talk to the antelope and the lion and the zebra. And he's like, great, I'm dyslexic when it comes to talking to animals too. I can only talk to the zebra. And he's like, oh wait, didn't Poseidon have something to do with making horses? Maybe that's why I can understand it. All of his underwater powers are so amazing. Like, I don't think I could cope with them because I have a thing about the ocean, but he is amazing with them. Like, I love one of the times when, like, he goes to the sea and he's just walking in casually and he's fine and he can breathe. And then he gets, like, to the bottom of the pier or something and he's under, and a shark comes up to him and freaking nuzzles him like a cat. And he's just like, okay. And then it takes him down and he talks to the naiads, and I love the naiads, let me just say. They're just so cool. And then when they escape from the underworld using the pearls and they come up in the ocean, there's a surfer nearby, and, like, there's a tiger shark looking at them curiously, and Percy just goes, beat it. And, like, the shark swims away as fast as it can, and the surfer's like, bad mushrooms, what is going on? And the Lotus Casino scene was just like, oof, that's adorable. Zeus is a massive freaking hypocrite and can go die in a hole. Because he's all mad at, what's his name? Poseidon for having Percy. And I'm like, excuse me, who fell off the bandwagon first and had Thalia? Oh, that's right. You. Ugh. And it was for such a superficial reason. It was like this really famous actress or something, and he had to have her because she was so pretty. Whereas Poseidon realizes just how awesome Sally Jackson is, that she's a queen among women, and falls in love. with her. And I'm just, who wouldn't? This woman is amazing. I mean, she married Smelly Gabe because she knew he would protect Percy with his stench. Despite the fact that Gabe was apparently physically abusive as well as verbal and just an all-round terrible person. But he's now a lovely statue, so he got what was coming to him. I just want to say, the whole scene with Medusa was 1,000 times more creepy reading it now that I'm older. I was just like, this is just creepy. Bad vibes, bad touch. Especially when she was going on about how handsome Percy was. I was just like, he's 12. Can you stop? And, yeah. Ugh. Annabeth can sympathize with my best friend Rosie with her fear of spiders. I like Poseidon. I do. I like him. I think he'd be much better as King of the Gods, but sadly that's never going to happen. I like Poseidon. And I think he would have been a really good dad to Percy if he'd been given half a chance. And I think, it's pretty much stated in this that despite Zeus forbidding it, when Percy was born, he did visit him to see how he was doing. He didn't do it too overtly, but I think he did visit. Yeah, so all of them are like Bamps. Let's just be honest. Percy obviously is so badass because he beat a Minotaur, he beat Ares, he beat... Whew. But then Annabeth freaking piggybacking on the Fury, that was just so cool. And then Grover using the trainers to just fly in and just tackle them, and I'm just like, yes, Grover, yes! Who else have I got here? Kronos is frustratingly clever. I hate it when bad guys are clever, and he is clever, and I'm like, stop being clever, and Zeus, stop being pig-headed. Kronos is rising. Things didn't go terribly if you don't do something, you son of a... And then Luke is obvious in hindsight. So if you've read the series, you know Luke is the friend who betrays Percy. And honestly, in hindsight, you can look for the signs and be like, this is actually quite obvious. How did I not see this? Damn it, Luke. And then Percy's trying to tell him he's a fool. You're a fool. He's just tricking you. And Luke's all gung-ho and just like, no, this is what I want to do. And I'm like, you're an idiot. Working with Kronos? Kronos? He swallowed his own kids. He's horrible. Sharon is awesome. He is the best teacher. So awesome. And the Oracle and her prophecies. Okay, little known fact about me. I actually, in books, rather like prophecies, and I adore riddles. And with the Oracle, you kind of get that. The best of both of that. That's what it. Alright, just gotta find it. Alright, a lot of things happened at once. Here it is. Okay, so the Oracle going, you shall go west and face the god who has turned. You shall find what was stolen and see it safely returned. You shall be betrayed by one who calls you a friend, and you shall fail to save what matters most in the end. So, go west and face the god who's turned. Everyone's thinking it's Hades, and it's total red herring, and it's Ares. And then you shall find what was stolen and see it safely returned. Good. He found the lightning bolt and he safely returned it, but he also found the helm of darkness which was stolen and saw it safely returned. Then you shall be betrayed by the one who calls you a friend. It was Luke. And you shall fail to save what matters most in the end. I'm still not quite clear on what that was. Was it meant to be his own life? Because Luke nearly killed him. That stupid pit viper. Yeah, so I love the Oracle and I love working out the prophecies. It's always so much fun. Okay, I love the magic in this series and just the way it's explained. So, like, you have the mist. So, I love the mist and how it came up with that whole story of what Percy and Annabeth and Grover were truly doing, and how Percy couldn't possibly be a terrorist and Ares was the bad guy all along. So much fun. And then the IMing with the iris messaging and the Dutch dramas, just, I love all of it. And then I love the portrayal of the gods, because something my dad always told me, and I'm in complete agreement. The trouble with the Greek gods, or any of the gods in this type of series, so the Norse gods, the Roman aspects of the Greek gods, and the Egyptian gods, is basically their humanity but on steroids. So everything that humanity is amplified, which is why they can both do great good and do great bad. Like, how many times does Zeus cheat on Hera? How many times? And every time he does it, he promises never to do it again, but he does it. And basically, it's just go big or go home with them. And I love how he did that, and he portrayed them in modern times. Like, Poseidon is wearing a Hawaiian shirt, and Zeus is in a pinstripe suit. It's... And we haven't met him yet in this one, but in Sea of Monsters, when Hermes rocks up, he's in, a jogging outfit. I just love it. And how they integrate themselves into modern times. Like, so, to use Hermes again, he runs a shipping company. Because he's the god of travelers and roadways and thieves and that sort of thing. I actually rather like Hermes. But we'll get into that in the Sea of Monsters, because, like I said, we didn't meet him here. And I love how Annabeth... There's a scene with Annabeth when she's talking to Percy, and she says, I will stand by you if a war happens, despite my mother, because you are my friend. Like, she says something derisive early on about Poseidon being the god of earthquakes, and then she's like, oh, I'm sorry. And Percy's just like, look, haven't our parents ever worked on anything? And she's like, well, I guess the chariot. My mother had to invent it, and your father created the horses to pull it. And so Percy's like, well, why can't we just do that? Reconciliation between Athena and Poseidon. And I'm just like, yes, okay? If Athena and Poseidon worked together, they could rule everyone. Percy and Annabeth consistently prove this in this series and the other series. But Athena is loyal to Zeus because he is her father, and she already had tenuous beginnings and doesn't want to do anything to shake that up. So, Lords of the Wild are already proving useless. I remember in, like, the fourth one, I think it was, they just pissed me off completely. So, I'm bracing myself for that. And Mr. D is interesting. Dionysus. I actually find his character interesting. He's always misremembering the heroes' names, and he's got an interesting perspective on things, But, yeah. I really, really enjoyed this. Like, seriously, if you haven't read Percy Jackson, read it. I've also just spoiled everything in this book for you, but still. Let me know what your favourite thing in the Percy Jackson series is down in the comments, or who your favourite character is. At the moment, I'm not gonna lie, my favourite character is Percy, but Annabeth and Grover are very close as well. I love them too. And later on we'll meet other characters who I utterly adore. And like I said, Clarice does get better, unlike her father. What I remember, Ares remains pretty much the same. But yeah. I finished, and It was so good. And just what I needed. So I will try and finish The Sea of Monsters tonight, and then I'll have read 2 books for the stay-at-home reading rush, completing my challenge. But we'll see. I've got classes starting tomorrow, and yeah, that'll be a whole thing. Well, when I say starting, I've got class tomorrow. They started last week, but that was orientation, so they're properly starting tomorrow, and I really just need to do things, and I need to check if anything's due. I don't think anything is. Anyway, like, comment, maybe even subscribe if you want, and my previous video will be here, and I hope you enjoyed. Okay, bye guys!